All right, so for today's topic of discussion, we got how to lose face fat. Now, before we start talking about what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, first thing we got to talk about is genetics. We got to talk about the things that you cannot change and etc. So the first thing we'll talk about is the facial fat distribution that is different among every single person. The amount of subcutaneous fat that gets distributed around your face is most likely unique to you. And the way that facial fat is distributed plays a key role in the appearance of hollow cheeks. The next genetic role is muscle tone, specifically the muscle tone of the buccinator muscle. The buccinator muscle is probably one of the most prominent muscles near the cheek area that has the biggest effect on the appearance of hollow cheeks. Now, two of the biggest facial bones that play a role in the structure of looking like you have hollow cheeks are the zygomatic bones and your maxilla. The elasticity and firmness of the skin on your face can actually play a huge role in looking like you have hollow cheeks, because if the skin is closer and tighter to your face, the bones look more prominent. Now, let's say your face is still developing, or you don't know how to look at all these things genetically on your face. You can look at the genetics of your parents. You can look at pictures of your parents when they were younger, maybe in their early 20s, and see what their faces looked like when they had high and or low amounts of body fat. Some people can get really low amounts of body fat and then their facial fat just doesn't reflect that. With genetics out of the way, now we could talk about things that you can actively change right now today to lose facial fat. So the first thing I would do if I wanted to get a slimmer, thinner, more chiseled looking face is to lower my sodium intake. The more salt you ingest, the more water it's gonna absorb and bloat your face. And when you ingest huge amounts of salt, huge amounts of sodium, your body's trying to counteract that. It's trying to even it out. And that's how you get super bloated. But the thing was, I always heard people telling me to, cut back on the sodium, cut back on the salt, that's how you reduce the bloat. One tip I'll give you is to increase your potassium levels while you are reducing your sodium levels. Do that with fruits such as bananas and kiwis. Potassium promotes sodium leaving the body. Everything we talk about has to do with concerning the lymphatic system. That is the entire system we're trying to manipulate. We're trying to help work in our favor. So let me explain to you what the lymphatic system is. Got a definition right here. Wrote it down. It's important information. The lymphatic system plays a crucial role in regulating fluid balance in the body. It is responsible for draining excess fluids and waste products from tissues and organs and returning them back to the bloodstream. When the lymphatic system is compromised or not functioning efficiently, excess fluids can accumulate in the tissues, leading to bloating and swelling. Next up, we will talk about two groups of foods that you 100% have to avoid if your goal is to get a slimmer face. First thing you have to avoid is artificial sweeteners. Sugar substitutes such as sorbitol, mannitol, xylitol, they're all found in sugar-free gum, candy, and other processed foods. These sugar substitutes can make it hard to digest, leading to indigestion and gas production, and then bloating. In that same realm, foods that are high in fat can slow down digestion, leading to swelling and bloating. Fried foods in particular can lead to bloating because of their high fat content. All right, so since we just went over what I was usually eating, what I was trying to avoid, I think we can talk about what I did to lose a lot of the fat that I did end up losing. So a lot of the fat I lost was through high intensity interval training and also skateboarding. Those two things in combination with each other was how I lost a lot of weight. And I'm going to explain how. Now, I originally started skateboarding because A, it was a really cool hobby, and two, I really didn't like walking on the treadmill too much. I was really big, so my ankles would hurt every time I would walk on the treadmill. So skateboarding, it was weirdly enough less of an impact at the time than just walking and trying to do jogs and runs on treadmills. And when I would do my high intensity interval training, I would always incorporate big compound movements so I can use as much muscles as I can. Because if you're using those bigger muscle groups, like your legs, like your quads, like your hamstrings, like your glutes, you're going to burn more calories than if you're trying to train a muscle like the forearm. Like if you're trying to train a muscle like the anterior deltoid, it's just smarter to train the bigger muscle because you'll be more tired, because it's going to need more energy to be in use, and it's going to need more energy to get back in use. But in conclusion, losing face fat has dozens of variables to it. So there's not just one thing you can start doing and then you'll just start seeing heaven sent results. It's a grind, it's a dedication. You got to do as much as you can to be as healthy as possible. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Remember, it's always you versus you. Comparison is the biggest thief of joy.